Have you ever wondered what the oldest house in the Miami Valley is? Well, I have, and I actually looked it up, and I've got some answers, and today we're going to go over that, because who doesn't like history and who doesn't like the Miami Valley? After all, this is the Miami Valley Experience, and I'm Jonas Hubbard, team lead of Team MVE at Streetlight Realty. Well, let's get into it. Let's talk about the oldest house in the Miami Valley, not in Dayton, but the entire Miami Valley region. Now, it just so happens that this old cabin is located in Dayton, Ohio. It's Newcom's Tavern, and I'm not talking about the bar, which I've never been to, but I know there's a bar, and it's called, or is it just Newcom's? I don't even know about that. So I think it's a bar. Someone, if you're watching this in the comments, let me know. But what do we know about Newcom's Tavern? It is known as the Old Cabin. It's a historical structure in Dayton, Ohio. It is the city's oldest existing building. Get a load of that. So it's not actually just the oldest house, but it's actually the oldest building in the Miami Valley. It was built in 1796 for Colonel George Newcom, not George Washington. This is a different George. He's special to us, though, right? And his wife, Mary, who ran it as a tavern and a hostel. It says Dayton was first established as the New Jersey Land Company under the leadership of Jonathan Dayton. I actually didn't even know that. Partners General Wilkinson, General St. Clair, and Colonel Ludlow. If you have ever been downtown, you might be familiar with the streets. St. Clair, Ludlow. Is there a Wilkinson? No idea. Anyway, those are the dudes who started Dayton. It says the original construction was built in 1796 for Colonel George Newcom, and it's who was one of the first settlers in Dayton after the Treaty of Greenville. I can't remember if we did a video on that or not, but yes, the Treaty of Greenville actually has a lot to do with westward expansion. So I should probably make a video on that. So this is pretty cool. So Newcom's Tavern. So it says Newcom's Tavern was built by millwright Robert Edgar and was one of the first structures built in the area. Edgar received 75 cents a day for its construction. Edgar lodged at the Newcom's one-room cabin while working, paying $1 deer a week for room and board. I'd be SOL on that. I went hunting all deer season. I didn't get a single one. I would have been homeless. All right. The house originally consisted of 2 rooms, one upstairs and one downstairs. It had a ladder to access the upstairs room and was located at what became the southwest corner of Main and Water Streets. The size of the cabin was doubled 2 years later. It was built when the Newcoms added a tavern to generate income. Food and lodging for one person and a horse cost 65 cents. The building served as Dayton's first school, first church, courthouse, council chamber, and store. Church services were held in the building for 3 years until 1799, when a blockhouse was built, after which services were held in the blockhouse. I don't even know what a blockhouse is, but that's cool. Let's see. It was best known as a crossroads tavern in the Northwest Territory for pioneers and drovers. During the War of 1812, it was used by Colonel Robert Patterson, ever heard of Patterson Road, as his headquarters. In 1815, Newcom sold the tavern, which passed through other owners until purchased by Joseph Schaefer, who used it as a general store until 1894. It says in 1881, the upper floor was rented to Frederick Husson and his wife, who delivered a baby girl in a second floor. Why is that important? I don't even know who Frederick Husson is, but whatever. Let's see. It says the building had been covered in clapboards, which disguised the log structure, and the historic significance of it had been forgotten. In 1894, architect Charles Inesco Williams planned to raise the structure to make room for an apartment building. Removal of the clapboard revealed the log structure, and the tavern was rediscovered. How do you forget? It seems weird. The building's owner donated it to the city, and John Patterson, the guy who owned National Cash Register, or NCR, donated funds to move it to Van Cleve Park, now Riverscape Metro Park. Now, the building was flooded during the 1913 Great Flood in Dayton, but it did survive that. It says Civil War veteran Frederick Philip Beaver, who owned Dayton's Beaver Power Company, left $10,000 for the building's preservation in 1936 in his will. That's pretty cool. It wasn't until 1962 that they actually moved Newcom's Tavern to Carillon Park. I'm sorry, it was moved in 1964 to Carillon Park. The move took 12 hours. They took a 5-mile route to move the building approximately 2 miles. Isn't that interesting? To this day, the lower level is actually still open to the public at Carillon Park. I've actually been there myself. I highly recommend, if you're out there, take the time to go take a look at it. Unfortunately, we do not have access to the upstairs. And there you have it, folks. That is the oldest structure in the Miami Valley, located right there at Carillon Park. If you want to hear more stuff like this about the Miami Valley, don't hesitate to leave us a comment. Do me a favor, please subscribe and let us know what you want to hear about, and we'll try to cover it. I like history, so I'm going to try to do some more of that. And we're also just going to cover things in general throughout the entire Miami Valley. Again, I'm Jonas Selbert. This is the Miami Valley Experience, and I am team lead of Team MVE with Streetlight Realty. If you want to buy or sell, let us know.